Hey everybody, I'm gonna wait a little bit before everyone starts to flow in. I know it's a little delay with Facebook, but before we get started, let me just introduce myself before I forget, because I tend to forget. I am Alease Michelle, your online marketing and branding coach. And today's Thought for Thursday has to do with, I'm going to share the truth on how I transitioned from a full-time employee to a full-time entrepreneur, right? And I don't think I've shared this with anybody other than my fiance, of course, because he was here through the process. But I don't think I really talked about the struggle that I had with making the transition. Okay, so today I'm just gonna share a quick Thursday thought with you and some tips on how you can make the transition also. Okay, so I feel like I'm about to read like a story in a book, but it's not like that. But all right, so some of you might know that I've been the branding coach for a very long time. I've started this business about 3 years ago, really taking it serious maybe 2 years ago. But in those 3 years, when I first started, I was a full-time employee. I was working as a full-time college professor teaching marketing to fashion students. Absolutely loved it. So don't get me wrong about that. I loved what I did, right? Enjoyed every minute of it. I did it for 17 years, and I did a lot. I mean, I was an department head. I wrote the curriculum for both the associate and bachelor's program. I graduated over, 1,000 some students who are working in their field, doing wonderful in the fashion industry, in marketing, and design, and merchandising, all of those things. And I loved what I did. But I don't know if you've ever had a nagging feeling that is pulling you in another direction, okay? And so that nagging feeling was to share with other women entrepreneurs like myself and males, how do you brand yourself using a new media like social media? Or how do you get more speaking gigs so that you can sell more products and services? So, because a lot of my clients or my peers at work were asking me, you are doing so well. You are on the cover of magazines. You are writing, guest blogging. You're being asked to be interviewed on television shows. And how are you doing that? And basically, I was, branding myself as a branding person, and people were seeking me out. I really wasn't trying really hard. It just happened to work out that way. Okay, so I'm just gonna be really honest with you. But one day, maybe a year and a half ago, this nagging feeling to be a full-time entrepreneur really was nagging at me really hard. Okay, so when I would drive to work, God would speak to me and tell me, it's time. It's time to go to the next level. And excuse me if I tear up and cry, because it was scary. I could hear him speaking to me, and I knew it was him speaking to me, and I knew what he was saying was the truth, but I was scared. I had been working a full-time job for 17 years, and I was going to leave this comfort, because that's what it was. It was a comfort for me to go and to take this risk of starting a full-time job. being a full-time entrepreneur. And so it scared me so much. But you know what? God speaks to you in so many ways, and he would keep speaking to you if he knows what your destiny is. He knew that sharing my gift and helping other women entrepreneurs brand themselves so that they can have options was paramount, that I needed to get that out. Okay, so here's the funny thing. Okay, so I would listen to him in the car. I would hear what he's saying, and I would just say, how do I do this? And it would just literally, it would scare me so bad. So one day I was in work, right? After having this conversation with God in the car, I got into work, getting ready to teach a class. And right before the class start, I had a panic attack. Okay. I literally had a a panic attack. And I hadn't had a panic attack since in my 20s, right? And in this panic attack, it was really saying that I couldn't do this. Like I was mad, I was upset, I was confused that I had to do what someone else asked me to do. That's really what it was. When I knew that I should be doing something else, right? So I left work. Told my boss that I cannot do this today. I am going home and you will not see me for the rest of the week, because that tore at me, right? So on my way back home, right, I had another conversation with God and said, what is it that I need to do? And I kept giving him excuses that I just couldn't leave this full-time job. And so, you know what? It was dead silent. He said nothing back to me, right? Which was a little scary for me. But what he was doing was he was working behind the scenes. A month later, I got called into the office. Well, not an office. It was a group meeting. All faculty have to meet. All full-time faculty had to meet in this room. And what they said was a true blessing, because that was God speaking through my boss. Yes, thank you for the thumbs up, right? And what was happening was they let us know, all full-time faculty, that there was going to be some layoffs, right? We had too many full-time faculties. They were going to more adjuncts. So some of us had to make a choice of resigning or stepping down or taking an early leave, right? So after they said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's my answer. I get to leave and you're going to pay me a really nice severance pay to leave? And I can probably come back and teach part-time? That was the answer, right? So I took it. I ran and I took the severance pay and I signed the paperwork and I left the comfort of my full-time job. However, I still did it scared, because I went back and taught part-time for about 2 quarters. And still God was nagging at me. He kept nagging at me to say, this is not what I asked of you. This is not what I asked you to do. You cannot do my deed or what I've asked you to do by still doing this part-time. So again, I had to listen. He showed me the way before. He showed me the way this time. And so this time I'm just, So at the beginning of this year, I just left all of it, right? I do not work part-time for anybody. I don't do side jobs for anybody that's not related to my coaching business. I do this full-time. I am a full-time entrepreneur who helps women entrepreneurs create thriving brands so that they can bring in reoccurring income and build a brand themselves so that they can have options. That's really all. That's what I do. That's my passion, right? So if you are in this transition, you're working a full-time job right now, which is nothing wrong with it, but nagging at you is something else. It's your next level. It's something else that you really want to do, but you're just really scared to do it. Then I got 3 tips, okay? Just 3 little tips that I want to share with you on how you can make that transition. Thanks for the thumbs up. Yes. All right. So I wrote down some notes so I don't forget. Tip number 1, if God is speaking to you, listen. Listen, listen, listen. And I know it's scary. Listen to what he's saying, because he's chosen to have a conversation with you. And sometimes it could be in the oddest places. Again, he always talked to me on my way to work because he knew that was not really where I was supposed to be going. Listen to what he's saying. Write it down. Do whatever you need to and go back and reflect on it. Pray on it. Meditate, because he's only showing you what is next for you, right? Listen. Number 2, take small steps. Take small steps, okay? I just want to make sure. Take small steps. Taking small steps is better than taking no steps, okay? Now, I hope you heard me. Taking small steps is better than no steps. And so when I was working my full-time job, but doing this coaching on the side, I was taking small steps. which was moving me forward or closer to my big step that I was going to take the beginning of this year, right? Awesome, right? And then the third thing, right, is to step outside of your comfort zone. Do something that scares you a little bit every single day. Every single day. It scared the heck out of me to do live videos, right? But I tried it. I tried it one time and now I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So do something that scares you every day, just a little bit. I'm not asking you to jump off a cliff. I'm not asking you, if you can't swim, to jump in a pool. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you just to do something that just makes you a little uncomfortable every single day. That might be just calling someone. It might be sending a text message. It might be just speaking to someone to say hi. Thank you for the thumbs up. But do something that scares you just a little bit every single day, right? So I'm just going to quickly go through those 3 tips one more time. 1, listen to when God is speaking to you. Write it down, meditate, pray on it, because he's only showing you what your next level is. 2, take small steps. They're better than taking no steps at all. Small steps equal up to big steps. Hey, Danielle. And then your third thing I want you to do is to do something that scares you every single day. Just a little bit every single day, right? Oh my gosh, Danielle, I'm glad you made the you know, it was the best thing I could have ever done, make that transition. The absolutely best. And I mean, what I didn't share, since I've made that transition, I've gotten more clients. I've gotten more opportunities. I've been able to do JV partnerships with someone that I really admire, that we've got something new coming up very, very soon for you guys. So if I did not make this jump, did not make the transition at all, I would not be in this place that I am today. I wouldn't be doing this video with you at, what is it? I don't even know what time it is right now. So let me just clearly, if you can learn from my story, it is possible for you. Just take the small steps, take the things and do the things that you need to do to move you forward. God got you, I got you. And if you need any help making that transition, just holler. Send me an email, send me a text message, do whatever. I will help you make that transition. That's what I do. All right. Thank you guys for listening to me today. I am Alease Michelle, your online marketing and branding coach. And if you want to reach out to me, you can go to aleasemichelle.com. You can follow me here on Facebook. You can subscribe. I think there's a button somewhere that you can subscribe somewhere. Go ahead and subscribe and you'll get notifications of when I'm doing my Facebook Live. But that's my thought for Thursday. And you guys have a blessed day, awesome day, beautiful day, whatever the day is for you, make it good. All right. Peace out.